Here's a quick video on how to incorporate PhysX into your project. I'll leave a link in the description, but all you want to do is just clone the repo. I'll be showcasing the steps for a Windows machine, but all we need to do is build the library files and the DLL files. Open up the project in an editor, and we are going to navigate to the preset folder. I'm going to use the VC17 preset since that is the latest version. You may need to modify some of these parameters. You can feel free to look up what each of them do. In my case, these are the settings that I went with. Now we want to run the generate projects bat file. Make sure to do this in terminal since it will spit out any errors if you run into any. Make sure to select the preset of the file that you just edited. So in my case, I'm selecting VC17. After this step is completed, inside of the compiler folder, the build files should have been generated. So open them up using Visual Studio. So now we're actually going to build the project. At the top, you can select which mode you want to build in. In my case, I think I did debug, but I think the documentation recommends to do checked. Inside of this folder is where you'll find all your files built. You're going to want to transfer over obviously the lib files and the DLL files to your project, depending on your setup obviously. Inside of my project, I have all the lib files here. The include folder has all the header files, and the DLL files I include with the binaries in that folder. Here is how my CMake looks. I link all of the library files here, and then later on I copy all of the DLLs into my binary directory. The difficult part is over. Now if you need any documentation, I recommend going into the snippets folder, which showcases some great examples on how to use the library. This example shows you how to set up a physics scene alongside some objects. I'll suggest changing PVD host to localhost, which is 127.0.0.1. If you download the PhysX visual debugger and follow the steps in that Hello World example, you'll get a really neat tool that will allow you to visualize the physics simulations. So you can launch up the debug tool first and then launch up your project. And if you follow the example, you should be able to see the simulations in the debugger. All that needs to be done now is you want to grab the transforms from each one of the objects and apply it to whatever graphics API you're using.